And you are now tuned in to I Think You're My Driver podcast. But today's episode is going to be called Who's in the Passenger Seat? So go ahead and introduce yourself, passenger.
My name is Greg Fanning.
All right, shout out Greg Fanning, man. Now, I had a little bit of a thing regarding that one, so I completely bombed that, but it's cool. Don't even worry about it.
We're 55 seconds into this, and we've already bombed
It's all good,
something.
man.
That's pretty good.
It's all good. So now, main reason why I kind of had you on this episode here, dude, you really were like a big inspiration for me, honestly, like when it came to like doing Lyft and Uber. Like you gave me a lot of fundamentals. So can you touch on a little bit of the background of you doing that?
Yeah, I used to be in restaurants for a long time. In fact, I thought I would be in restaurants forever. And then the owner of those restaurants passed away, and I just said that's the perfect time to get out. So then I moved to the city, Oklahoma City. Country folk call it the city. It's called the city where I'm from.
I believe that.
So, and then I got into from restaurants into the car. So I started selling cars, and I did that, and I enjoyed that. But then it got kind of weird, and I quit. And then they sold the dealership, so they were being weird. They were like cutting corners
I
and
got you.
trying to cut my pay and stuff. And so I got out just in time. So I kind of got tired of being strapped down to a 40-hour a week, not getting paid enough. So I was like, I started doing like real estate stuff on the side. So while I was doing that, I drove Uber and Lyft to make money to pay bills.
That's right.
So Amber, my wife, didn't throw me out.
I got you, man. So I do remember that you talking about being a real estate agent, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think I remember whenever you started working at the same job when we used to work at Lexus together, you would actually talk about how you treated like Uber and Lyft as far as like networking to be a real estate agent.
Oh, yeah.
How did that go for you when you did that?
Dude, the number one thing about driving, and I think this is real special about OKC too, Oklahoma City, you meet cool people, and you meet people you never would think that you would meet. And you know what? Like some of those people who were talking, they might be impressed by you. I got a lot of cards and stuff. I never really did anything with that. But like, for instance,
Sounds like me.
I gave a ride to the guy who owns the Khalidi dealerships in OKC, the guy who owns them. And it was weird. I had no idea. I am not starstruck by anybody.
I got you.
So I'm talking casual. Then it's like, just pull into that parking spot. And he's like foreign. And I was like, oh, it's got your name on it? And I was like, oh, you own this dealership? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, and you had an Uber pick you up to go to work today. You know, it was funny. But you never know who you're going to meet. And you meet a lot of people. I mean, a lot.
For sure. It's funny that you say that specifically. Did I ever tell you the story about whenever I picked up that Thunder player?
No.
Dude.
Cool.
I have to look up his name. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Still fans.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you're listening, don't take it personally.
Fucking name, man. Fucking Bader. The Bader Nader dude. He used to play for the Thunder.
What? That's a cool name.
Well, that wasn't his real name. I don't got time looking for it, man.
we got important stuff to talk about. Oh, dude, but yeah, that's cool.
Dude, fucking so I picked up from like one of those neighborhoods over there in like in Edmond, like off of like I think that's like 165th and like Penn. So like way up there. And my brother-in-law, ironically, used to live in the same neighborhood, so I was a little familiar with the area. So I pull up to the house, and the guy was standing outside, and he had Thunder backpacks.
That's a nice house?
Yeah. It was a pretty decent house.
Like
you know, nice tall driveway, you know, probably about like
yeah,
a, you know.
I like that. Yeah,
you know.
that actually paints a picture.
Exactly. So I pull up to the house, he has the Thunder backpacks on, and the first thing that I think is like, what if he's a Thunder player? And I was like,
yeah, sure.
Anybody could have those fucking backpacks, man. So, you know, I'm all nice, you know, I hop
what you
out.
should think.
Exactly. So I hop out, I'm all nice. I'm like, hey man, I can put those in the trunk. He's like, just open the trunk for me, bro. Don't even worry about it. And so he gets in the car, doesn't say a fucking word.
Okay. Yeah.
We go to the airport. So from there is about 45 minutes. So 45 minutes, he didn't say a fucking word, dude.
Yeah, and that's a good ride.
Yeah. So I was like, fuck. I was like, man, I don't give a fuck if he talks to me. I'm making like $28 off of you, dude. So we get to like getting off the freeway, going towards Will Rogers, like passing by the rental agency.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "Hey man, when we get in the parking lot, don't drive to the regular area. You're gonna drive off to the side because we're going to the private pads." And I
Ooh,
was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy talking about
that's
private pads?"
awesome.
So, we round the corner and there's a little fence right there, and there's like thunder flags like just flying high right there, and I can drive through the fence, and I was like, "Oh shit." Get
Oh,
past the fence, and there's like two like ladies with thunder t-shirts, and they're directing shit, and all the players are getting onto the private plane and shit like that. And he's fucking
wait, what car? What car were you driving?
my car.
Was it Dodge Dart? Oh, bright blue Dodge Dart rolling next to nice cars?
Yeah, I
Or
get.
were they all good?
No, they're all getting Ubers for sure,
Okay,
for sure.
all right, because that would have been fucking awesome.
Dude, what's even more awesome is that little plastic piece at the bottom. It's been dragging ever since I owned it.
Hey,
So,
just so you know, watch your feet, buddy.
yeah,
Don't kick my car. Don't kick my Dodge Dart.
dude, literally. So he gets out of the car. I was like, "All right, man, you have a good one, whatever." And I'm like, "Who the fuck was that guy?" So I literally
You start
Googled,
looking him up.
dude, I Googled like the Thunder lineup at that time, and I had to match like the name to the face of who I just saw.
Yep, that
like-
would have been my play too.
I was like, "Holy shit, that was a Thunder player," and I had no fucking clue who
That's
that
cool.
was.
That's cool, dude, because of all the rides to the airport, I never had anything like that. In fact, my first ride to the airport, and I'm stupid sometimes, so I pull into like the taxi area and I don't know, maybe back then they might have gotten rid of all of that. It's probably like an Uber area now or something, but a lady walks up to me and is like, "What are you doing driving your car here? It's like taxis only." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm an Uber driver." And she's like, "Yeah, you're not a taxi." And that Uber wasn't that old in Oklahoma at that time. I bet and so yeah, I'm having to do the loop, but otherwise it's a pretty and Will Rogers Airport to the listeners, if you don't know, is a pretty small airport. But that was still pretty embarrassing because she was like, "I'm gonna have to make way so you can get out of here." And I'm like, "Okay, sorry, this is like a big no-no at the airport. Apparently, don't take this route."
She's like, "I gotta move my car just so you can get out of my
Yeah,
fucking
it
way."
was a deal.
That's
It was a
fun.
deal.
That's funny, man. See, that was like also like something that I kind of wanted to ask as well, as far as like, what kind of driver were you in those kind of aspects?
Dude, I always thought I would be the driver that I would want to get because there are two. You talked about that guy just being silent in the car. There's like two riders. Either they want to talk and like they want to chat the entire time, which I was cool with because it makes the day go by so much better. Or they're just like awkward and quiet, which is fine too because it's like, okay, I'll just turn the volume up on some tunes a little bit and we'll just drive there and drop them off. What kind of driver was I though? I don't know. Easy to deal with for sure. Easy to talk to. Because there's some awkward and there's people doing weird stuff. And like, if you told me, like, you could say whatever you wanted to me, and I would be cool with it. If you were like, "Hey, dude, I need to haul ass where I'm going," I would haul ass, no problem. To a certain extent, okay. I am not crazy, but or like, "Hey, can we stop and do this?" Or, "Dude, you could definitely do that with me." I didn't have like bottles of water and like anything special in my car, except I did keep it clean too. And driving Uber and Lyft, you will keep your car clean. It's amazing. I was like about to just do that just to keep my car clean because it's like I know people are going to be in my car, so I'm going to keep it clean.
Literally, my car's a fucking mess now, bro.
But I always, because I still use Uber and Lyft, and I always like, dude, I would love if I could pick myself up, not to sound just vain. Like, "Oh, I'd love to have sex with myself because I just know I'm so good." No, I wish I was my own Uber driver though, because that's going to be a good ride.
You know what? It's funny that you say that because I've thought that multiple times on like days when it was
Yeah.
not busy, when there's not shit going on. I was like, okay, it's about $7 for me to pay a ride for me to go around the corner. If I make $3 off of that, is it going to be worth it to go and pick myself up
Yep.
from the zone queue and drive 6 minutes down
Oh,
the road?
dude, I'm so bad about it, especially like being driving for a living and like the stuff that I will get delivered to my house is ridiculous. And then I just feel the shame of overpaying.
I feel the shame. That's funny, man. Now, I kind of want to pivot a little bit more because there is a story that I want to tell you.
Okay, yeah.
So, with you talking about, well, let me rephrase. So, the introduction that I actually had for you was gonna be funny as fuck. I wanted to do like a fucking like WWE
Oh,
introducing.
hell yeah.
So I wanted to be like, he's lean, he's mean, he thinks he's 16,
Oh,
but we got another man, Watonga's finest, Greggy.
yeah.
So
Shout out to Watonga.
so basically like talking about like small towns. So my wife Sydney, she's also from a small town as well. She grew up out in Luther.
Okay.
She told me the story of the Christmas program from 2004.
Huh.
So for the Christmas program, part of one of the events as far as like the Christmas program, you know how like everybody, all the kids get together
In
in fourth
Luther,
grade?
Oklahoma?
In Luther, Oklahoma.
Okay.
So all the kids get together on stage, they're singing Christmas carols, whatever the fuck, right? The grand finale of this Christmas program was the superintendent on a chair in the middle of the stage, and all of the cheerleaders
Okay.
gave him a lap
Oh
dance
my God.
to Santa Baby.
I might have heard this story before. Or maybe, you
Really?
know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there's stories like this all across Oklahoma or just small towns in general. Dude, that is so cringy.
Seriously, man. Do you have a small town story like that?
You know what? I'll think about one, but I do have. There was just a controversy not that long ago, where I think it's Deer Creek or Piedmont or Edmond, one of that area.
Okay.
They do a thing where it's like a fundraiser, and you like put peanut butter on your toes. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
All right, we'll try not to change the rating on your podcast here. But yeah, peanut butter on the toes, and then like people like suck off the peanut butter. And I don't remember if it's like you like, oh, well, I want Mrs. Crabtree to come suck the peanut butter off my toes, and you pay so much money for that.
What?
But yeah, and
that was Piedmont. That was Piedmont.
okay. So well, and I was going, oh, dude, that's so cringy. I was talking about it with a young dude. He's like 22 and he's from like the Edmond area or something, or he went to school there. And he was like, no, dude, it's totally normal. We used to do it. It's fun. Like, it's, yeah. And I was just like, find something else to do. Like, there's so many ideas you could come up with. But let's see. And we'll talk anything cringy.
That's fucking hilarious, man.
Not so much. I do have a funny little story about, and this is one of my big regrets. I think you know, where you're sitting around, you're having like a normal Tuesday, and you think of something in your past, and it just shuts you down. You go, "Why did I do that?" Like huge regret, embarrassing. This is one of mine. So we were freshmen, and it was homecoming weekend. Do they just like most high schools? They do like skits, and I didn't like a lot of people in my grade. And so we're planning it out. And I'm like, they're going to make this so stupid. They're going to ruin this.
For sure.
I'm Greg Fanning from Watonga. I'm going to like jump in here. We're going to make this funny. So we do one where it's like, we're the Watonga Eagles, and it's like at a campfire, the eagle, and then all the other opposing school mascots, right? Yeah. And like we're gonna do a thing where the lights go out, and like somebody would disappear, just like the old like movie Clue, or like the board game Clue, where lights go out. It's like a murder mystery, and it's the eagle who's murdering everybody.
Okay.
Slowly, and then it was just gonna be him, and like, you know, we're the best, blah blah blah. That's the end of the skit. Doesn't go well, because first, yeah, it goes so bad. Because first of all, some of the rules were that you couldn't work on the skit outside of school. So we were doing this like 15 minutes before the school bell rang, and so the planning was terrible, and nobody wanted to do it but me. And they were just like, "Well, Greg, I mean, it'll probably be funny. Greg's coming up with it." No, okay. So in the auditorium, the lights, when you turned them out, it didn't even really get dark in there. So you could see behind the scenes, you could see us like grabbing the mascots and running them out of there. Then the lights would come back on, and it wouldn't even make a difference. People were like, "What was that?
Right.
What was that? What was that supposed to be?" And we just slowly get through this skit. People are kind of half clapping at the end of it, and nobody gets what even really went down. And then the sophomores come out and do their skit, and they had a whole like 25-minute dance routine, like a flash dance. Like they had gotten together outside of school and trained to do this and stuff. And so it looked so good. And they were just like, what happened to the freshmen this year? And it was my fault. It was 100% my fault. It was so bad.
That's funny, dude. It's funny that you bring up about the whole like sucking toes thing.
Yeah, it's weird. The longer you think about it, it's like, why?
That's really weird. But there was a radio prank that I heard about that I love fucking referring to. I was on Ricky Smiley.
Okay.
And this dude, he was like basically like calling in like as if he was like doing for a fundraiser. And he, makes a call and he's like, "Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. My name is Scott, Scoutmaster 2257 out of the chapter out of this area." He goes, "So we got a little fundraiser going. The kids need some uniforms. We're trying to have a camping trip. And part of our fundraiser, we want to give back to the community and do pedicures. We want to give pedicures, but we're going to be sucking toes for the Lord."
Oh, no.
And I just love saying that all the time. I'm like,
Sucking
Scout
toes for the
Master
Lord?
for the Lord.
That makes it official, though, so I feel
I
like
love
that's
you,
okay.
God.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Exactly, bro. So it was like,
Oh.
it's like one of those things where I love hearing like that, like small town stuff because there's a lot of stuff that goes on just everywhere. And I feel like with social media, a lot of the stuff is broadcasted, but kind of like how you said about how the guy was like, I mean, it's normal. Like,
Yeah. Oh, no, we have fun doing it. It's a good time. No, dude. It's step outside of yourself for a second. Just look at what's actually going down here. It's pretty weird. It's pretty
literally.
weird.
Literally. And I kind of want to use that to like transition as far as like stepping outside of yourself because like what I was like getting into driving Uber and Lyft, I was like getting a lot of like fundamentals or just like little tips from you. You'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
have some good ones.
Like, yeah, bro, you had some pretty good ones, dude." And like one of the things that was always the funniest shit to me ever is so I think like when I started doing that, I had just turned 21. So fresh out of high school, fresh out of college, whatever the case. So you're like, "Oh, dude, you're gonna enjoy it, bro. You're gonna pick up so many hot chicks, dude. Just fucking prepare
Yeah,
yourself
it's
for it."
surprising.
Surprising, right? So when we used to work at Lexus together, one of our roles that we did was taking the car washes. Now, I'm pretty sure you remember having to write down some of the information on those tickets. And
Yeah.
in all honesty, some of those people had names that we couldn't write out.
Yeah. Oh, God.
So one day I went to lunch and I come back and get a car wash. And one of the guys hands me the ticket. And it was one of yours. I knew it right off the bat because you were gone. And he hands me the ticket and the ticket says, "Hot old lady." I'm just like, fucking Greg, bro.
You gotta go. You gotta go sort that out. You gotta see it. It should have been obvious.
No, it should have been obvious.
It wasn't obvious.
No.
So yeah. So I don't know if they know. So you'd come into Lexus and we would take your keys. They say you get free car wash there. I don't think they do that anymore, by the way.
Really?
But we would just write your name down on a little tag on your key. So when your car wash was done, we'd come find you. And yeah, they sometimes would just throw you the keys. They could be some real assholes out there, especially in the luxury division. But yeah, so a lot of times we just write funny descriptions because it also made our day a little bit better. I feel like, like ugly green hat or should have stayed home today, shit like that. And so that's hilarious. Do you remember what she looked like?
Yes, bro.
Oh, yes.
I remember, like I looked at the ticket and I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking try to attempt to see who this could possibly be. And I was like, Greg should be coming back from lunch probably in the next 5 minutes, so I'm gonna fucking wait. And I remember you walked up and you just had the look on your face like you had it like, did you get to talk to her? And I remember I was like, "Hey, bud, I'm not about to figure out who the fuck is it." And you're like, "I got you, man."
I probably
And
was
you,
excited.
bro, literally, you walked in and you walk out with this little tiny little old Asian lady, and you're like guiding her.
Oh, yes.
And you're all just like, yeah.
Just
You look at me like,
trying to get the money, honey. That's what that's called. Trying to get that $5 tip. Dude, the Lexus drive, so funny. So yeah, we were both valets there for a short little stint, and oh man, so many funny stories from there.
bro. That was like one of like the funniest experiences, just like having to try to track down some of those people,
Yeah,
especially with the
nice.
descriptions. Because you know what? That's actually how I thought about that too. Of like, you know what? Let me go ahead and give everybody else some entertainment. That way, whenever I
Yeah.
leave.
Absolutely. That job's miserable. It's a 10-hour day. You're outside most of the time. People are not nice. But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff I enjoy. They got some funny stories from the drive. Christian still talks about one. So Christian's a guy that is a service advisor, and I am a service advisor with him at BMW now.
Okay.
And he tells us, and it embarrasses me, but it's the best compliment I ever got in my life. I relish in it a little bit. So I'm just smiling, and because I think we were joking around, and I'm like waving somebody on, and I'm smiling real big because I think we were laughing. You know what I mean? And this lady's like, "Oh, this guy's just so nice. He's having the best day of his life." No, we were probably joking on somebody right before. And she comes in and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" And she goes, "I take him, that customer, to Christian because he's a service advisor, and that's his customer." And she said, "That guy looks just like Bradley Cooper."
Bradley.
And I don't look like Bradley Cooper. To the viewers, don't get excited. Sit back down. That's why it was the best compliment of my life. I'm nowhere close to Bradley Cooper hot, but and he's still like, "Oh yeah, we got a Bradley Cooper lookalike right over here." And I was like, "Dude, I will take that any day of the week." But also, I get teased a little bit for that.
That's funny, Bradley Cooper. You know, I feel like I do remember
Yeah,
that too. Because
I was being nice. I might have even flirted a little bit. I like flirting with those ladies coming in there. You don't got shit else to do to look forward to. But yeah, and also there was a lady one time who said, uh, you got nice legs, dude. Chicken legs, hairy, pale." And I said, "I'm gonna take that compliment because I'll probably never get it again." But yeah, just a funny place. Dealerships can be pretty fun to work at.
1,000%. And you know what's funny with you talking about legs? I feel like that's a real like old person compliment.
She's old. Oh yeah,
That's
she
an
was
old person
old,
compliment.
dude.
You know, that's like an old man thing. You know, old men, you know, they'll get together, have a beer, and somebody walks by. It's like, look at that nice set of legs
Yeah,
walking right there.
he's got some grade A ankles on that guy with his tall socks on. Yeah, and I was just like, "Okay, lady, I'll accept your compliment, but get the hell out of here,"
Dude.
with all of that.
Seriously, man. Like, and it was like interesting just seeing like how like that was my first experience to like people being bold, just saying whatever.
Dude, yeah.
Dude.
Oh man, people who drive, like people who live the life of like not having to worry about money, the stuff, the way they act, and it's a whole nother world to me.
Literally.
Yeah. So if you come up with like no money and you see how people with money act, it's insane. I still am mind boggled by it a lot of times.
Bro.
It ain't normal to me
At all.
anyway. I
Yeah, I
guess
guess.
that's kind of crazy to say, but it ain't normal to
Yeah.
me.
You know what? I agree with that. And you know, one of the things that let me know that things weren't normal was like dealing with like people who complain about the smallest things.
Yeah.
I had a guy that pulled it on the drive one time. He drove, I think probably like an ES, probably brand new, like 2019 ES. He had just got it, still had the paper plates. And the first thing he says, he was like, you know, I fucking hate this car, man. He's like,
Sure. Okay.
and I was like, okay, guy. And I'm like, what's going on with this car? He's like, every time whenever I get out of it, man, the door almost crushes my leg, man. It just doesn't make any fucking sense, man. And so I'm like, it almost crushes your leg. And I was like, I'm like, can you just demonstrate it for me? You know, try
we're
to,
gonna need a reenactment.
you know,
of this.
I need to understand it. And so, you know, like a car door, when you open it, you know, it gets to that certain point of resistance
Yeah.
to where it'll close. And so I'm not fucking joking when I say this. I watched this old man get out of the car, open all 4 doors to try to get it to recreate it. But of course, he's pushing it past the resistance
Oh
point.
yeah, because he's got room to open the doors. Okay, guy. Don't hit this guy with a pillow. You might kill him.
Oh, shit, bro. It literally was like, well, I'm fucking returning it. How about that?
Oh, dude, so many funny stories. I could talk about stuff like that. And honestly, I'm just always hoping that I'm not the butt of those stories. Like, I don't want to act like that when I go somewhere. Here's my example. Here's something. And me, a lot of people, I've talked to this about a lot of people, but here's just an example. Like, if I ran into a pole in the parking lot of a dealership with my car, I'm getting the hell out of there because I don't want them to make me pay for that pole or like any damage to the pole, right?
Fair enough.
But someone who has money runs into a pole at the parking lot of a dealership, they're going to get upset. They're going to go inside and they are going to demand that the dealership pay to fix their car, even though they hit a stationary object in the. Well, how are we going to fix this? Well, you got to take it back to a body shop and you have to pay the money. Well, why am I paying for it? Well, why'd you run into the pole?
Literally.
Oh man, it's a whole nother world. And people think that I'm exaggerating on that. No, no, they expect full reimbursement. And I'm like, dude, oh, I scratched that pole. I can't afford to paint that pole. Not this month. So I'm getting out of there. Dude, my
My
car be
car be
damned.
damned.
I'm getting out of there.
Literally, man. So, do you deal with that same stuff at BMW?
Oh yeah. Yeah. BMW. But you know what? I don't know. It's a younger class, but there's a lot of money up there, and BMWs are like boats. You buy, and they drive awesome, dude. BMW, they're all sports cars. You step on the gas and they haul ass.
Right.
But they are high maintenance, dude. They break down. They are not real reliable as far as like, if you get 100,000+ miles, we're telling you, you're about done with this car. Like you need to be done with this car soon. In the next couple of years for sure. And people are always like, oh, I've heard of a guy who had 300,000. You know how much money a person who has a BMW who put 300,000 miles into that car? They put double what it's worth into the car. I guarantee it. And that's okay. Like, you want to spend the money? It is a driving experience. You do spoil yourself because you have a car that it can kick ass while you're driving it. But
For
you
sure.
got to pay for that. And if you're not willing to pay for that, you probably made a mistake.
Yeah.
So I get a little bit of it. Some of them are like, yeah, I already know. And you guys are going to come at me with like a $3,000 bill. I'm here for an oil change and it's going to be expensive, And some people are just shock and awe, like, oh, why do I need tires on this? Or why does it need this? It's only got 40,000 miles on it. Why do I need a new oil pan that's, $4,000 or something like that?
Bless
and it's
me.
like, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to spend some money.
Yeah. I dealt with that a little bit when I was service advising at Honda.
Oh, I bet. Oh, you get it at every brand, I feel like. You get it at every brand, but
Do you have a place that you got it worse at, like out of the three?
the thing, Lexus is like, there's a lot of older people who have made smart financial decisions who are like misers. They don't want to spend their money, and so they get a Lexus, which is like luxury with also reliability in there
Okay.
too. And then BMW, people do like treat themselves to those. So I don't know. I'd probably say BMW in the long run, just because I don't know. You get a lot of like people who are young but have a lot of money and never have worked any kind of service job at all. Where they have to help anybody. So they're kind of like these people are ants,
Oh,
they're
God.
peasants, but that doesn't bother me
I got you.
because that's pretty much how the world is when it comes to money.
You know what? That's the truth. So, would you say that, like, you coming from like a small town, like, even dealing with like the small town people, would you say that that was like a good preparation to get out to deal with these BMW Lexus owners, man?
No, it probably hinders me a little bit, to be honest. I have a bit of a chip on my shoulder, like people with money. And even now that I live in the city, people don't really, when I say like people have money, like I'll be like, did you grow up with like in a brick house? Then as a kid, I thought you were like spoiled rich people. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
shit.
And not that I wasn't like destitute. I grew up in a trailer house out in the country and we had whatever we needed, but like, I wasn't getting all the cool shit for school, like the cool shoes and stuff like that. And a lot of my friends did. And that's okay. I don't regret it. I actually like that about myself. But I do have a huge chip on my shoulder when it comes to like people with money.
I bet.
Like, I don't know what would it be like to not have to worry about money? What would that be like?
Seriously.
You probably get pretty weird. You start worrying about weird stuff.
Bro,
So-
seriously. You start sucking toes for the Lord, man.
Yeah. You know what? I got to start a fundraiser about sucking some toes. I'll get the peanut butter out. We got to get a dog.
Oh,
I'd
fuck,
probably
man.
be in the news.
Yeah.
They'd put me on the news.
Man, they put you up there with the quickness, man.
Yeah, like some people like turn into Batman. Like not me. Like Greg's at it again. Local millionaire.
Local
arrested.
teen.
Yeah, local teen. I forgot about that. Yeah, so that's how we'd refer to it. If we did something crazy, we'd be like, local teens go out to the bar on Wednesday and get too drunk.
Oh, shit. I think about that, like, especially driving by like McNelly's and stuff like that.
Oh, McNally's. Shout out to McNally's a couple years back
Shout out to McNelly's,
when
man.
you could smoke on the third floor and cut up a little bit.
Oh, they got rid of
They
that?
got rid of that. And I don't like smoke. I don't smoke anymore, but I used to like to go out, and that was like my guilty pleasure. Like have a few cigarettes while I drink. Oh, dude. Gives me the chills sitting here as like a 40-year-old man who's just like raising kids now. Oh, that sounds fun.
You know, I think about that too, because like I've developed a guilty pleasure over the last like 3-4 years of smoking Black and Milds.
Oh,
Like
baby.
that's like my cigar of
Yeah.
the
Oh, I'm not mad at that. I
dude.
was doing
Like
that in high school, and I'm not saying that high schoolers are the one that I used to love that in high school, though, dude. And then when I went to college, I found cigarettes, and I was like, oh shit. And you can just pound cigarettes all day. And I do miss it. I haven't smoked in a long time, and on and off vaping. But even vaping, dude, I like doing that too. But man, just firing up a cigarette, so good.
yeah, somebody told me that like the smell of a freshly sparked cigarette is way more satisfying than actually smoking the cigarette.
Maybe I get that. Not me. It's when not me though. No, I think waking up in the morning and like getting some caffeine or some coffee and smoking a cigarette. Oh, that's a nice way to wake up.
I bet.
But also, like, smoking's terrible. It's so bad, dude. And you can feel it. You're like, and then you get to a point where you're smoking and you smoke to like take the edge off and like get your fix pretty much. But you don't feel any better when you're done with it. And then it's like, what do I do? Do I smoke another cigarette? No, that's not going to help. Then you're going to start feeling like shit. You know, it's a terrible cycle. But God, I love smoking cigarettes. So good.
Oh, shit.
So good.
I mean, it definitely sounds like that guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you.
Why can't it be good for you?
Don't say that.
Smoke a cigarette and I'm gonna live an extra 7 years. This is gonna take me to that next level.
Fuck that, man. I won't lie, I had a very, very short phase. I never told my wife about this.
Ooh.
I had a very, very
Is she a
short
listener?
phase. Yeah, of
I
course, of
hope so.
course. Of
Do some
course.
earmuffs. Don't listen to
Bro.
this part.
So freaking, uh, I had a friend who shout out to Jeff, one of my childhood friends when I was like in 10th grade. His stepdad smoked Pall Mall cigarettes, and
Okay.
he was a truck driver. So when he would smoke cigarettes, he would smoke like a half of a fucking pack, like drink like a tall
Hell
Pepsi.
yeah. Driving and smoking?
Yeah.
Also cool.
I
Also
agree.
fun.
I agree. Freaking, he would smoke half a pack of cigarettes, drink that Pepsi, and then knock out on the couch. And he was like on like the sleep machine, all types of shit, dude. So he would go into a deep sleep, and like he would like place them in like an area where you couldn't find the leftover cigarettes, but he would forget about where he had put the
Okay.
cigarettes.
So you guys were scooping those up?
He was scooping them.
Okay,
I
yeah.
wasn't. So one day he goes, "Hey man, let's go to the mall." And I was like, all right, that sounds like a plan. It was like the last day of Christmas break. His mom drops us off at the mall, and when we get out of the car, mind you, it just fucking snowed.
Oh yeah, miserable outside.
Yeah, dude. So he was like, we're coming up here. We're trying to get some hose. We're trying to
Okay.
find this. Mind you, it's 28 degrees outside. There's
Yes.
snow on the road. There's not a single fucking hussy out there, man. Not
No.
a single one of them, bro. So he's like, well, if we're not going to be able to get some hose, man, I got some squares. I got squares and a lighter. So he
That
was like,
sounds cool as shit.
I was like, you know what,
Squares?
man?
That's
I was like,
old school. I
Yeah.
like that.
so I was like, fuck it, man. You know, let's smoke a cigarette,
Yeah.
you know? So we just started walking, and we're pounding fucking three
Walking
cigarettes
around the
back.
mall?
Walking around the mall,
Springs
walking
Mall.
home. No. This is Dallas.
Oh,
This is
Grapevine?
Dallas. So there's a
I'm just gonna keep throwing malls. Mall of America?
See, there's a mall. It's not called this anymore. It used to be called Uptown Village, and it was like an outlet mall. So like you walk
Oh,
around
yeah,
and shit
hell
like
yeah.
that. So it's, you know, like I said, 27 degrees. We're pounding cigarettes back and forth. We're walking into Barnes and Nobles trying to play on the tablets, and then go across the way to the Wetzel Pretzel to get a free sample.
Dude, 10th grade? That sounds
Yes.
like a damn date, like good date with your buddy.
Sounds like a
dude.
date.
That sounds
It
like
definitely
a
wasn't
bro
a
date.
date.
Some bromance. There's nothing wrong with that, listeners. No,
Bruh.
that 10th grade, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool, man. That was the first and the last time that I smoked a cigarette. I remember after that, I decided that I was going to be like, you know what? Because his older sister upstairs sold cigarettes to us for like 50 cents or like $1.
All right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, we're gathering quarters together to
hilarious.
buy a cigarette. And I remember I went and bought a cigarette, and I sat outside and I smoked it by myself. And I was like, what the fuck am
Yeah,
I
you do get that. every once while you're smoking it and you're like, you know it's not good for you. It's take shaving a little bit, just shaving off the top of your lifespan, and you go,
Yeah.
why? I don't really need to do this.
That was literally the last time that I did that.
That's
Like
good.
when I sat there, I
That's
was
some,
like,
that's willpower,
I
dude.
was like, fuck this, man. Like my grandpa smoked cigarettes. He smoked a fucking Benson and Hodges, and freaking
Whoa.
like he would put them in the back of his like jeans and be like sitting on them, so they look fucking
I've never
disgusting.
even heard of that brand, and I've
Listen,
worked at gas stations before. So what? Where is he get? Where is he getting those? Yeah, you looking it up?
Benson and
Look it
Hodges.
up, please.
I will
And
show
I
you.
know some cigarette brands.
Benson and Hedges, apparently.
You got to pull up an image. I got to see this.
Yeah, this shit.
Okay. Oh, dude. Okay. If you don't know what this looks like, it's fancy looking, but like fancy as in the cheap way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they'll make some like fancy peanuts, but it's actually the cheapest peanuts you can buy.
And you know what's funny that you say that about fancy peanuts? This is my grandpa's Christmas present. My grandma would buy him a carton of it, like wrap it all nice and shit like that, and gold wrapping paper, and it's already a
Ooh,
fuking
yeah.
gold package. So he was like, "Oh,
High
yeah."
class. Hell yeah. She is
Oh,
getting laid that night. Sorry to say that. She's
Fuck,
getting
man.
a massage with that. So get out the peanut butter.
Dude. God bless me, bro. It's
Oh,
it's
no.
funny that you say that specifically, bro. Bro, I'll never forget this shit, man. Kids, go to sleep when they tell you to go to fucking
Yeah,
sleep,
don't
bro.
wander around in the dark
Go-
at night. You
go
might
to sleep.
have a real bad memory coming up. I can already see
Bruh.
this.
Bruh, so I'm of age, bro. I'm 10th grade, about to be a junior in high school,
That was a
bro.
big year.
Yeah,
That was a big
bro.
year for you. You got some stuff going on.
So I'm up. It's about 2, 3 in the morning. My grandpa's like an early bird. He wakes up at like 3, 4 in the morning to get ready, smoke a cigarette, make a coffee, eat a bowl of rice or whatever.
Are you ever gonna get to that age? Because I'm 40, and I don't think so. No,
I'm
thanks.
sure I'm going to.
You
I don't
think
know
you're gonna
about
be
3
like
in the
that?
morning. 3 in the morning.
It's pretty normal.
Yeah, I'm
But-
cool.
Continue with your story.
So fucking, bro, I'm laying in bed and I hear a lot of ruffling because he went to use the restroom and then he goes back to the room, and I was like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be getting ready for work. Usually you go back to the kitchen and you start to hear the grunts
Okay.
and the moans.
Something's not right.
Yeah, something's going crazy.
And this is your
And
grandparent?
my grandparents.
Oh,
So I'm talking in their 60s,
trauma.
bro.
Dump some trauma on us, dude.
Yeah, a good old 15-second worth of trauma for sure.
Oh.
Dude,
Oh,
literally,
that's
all I heard was just like,
terrible.
and that was it. Just that.
Oh no! And you know when your brain clicks, and
Yeah.
you know it's too late. You've gone into the abyss.
God bless me, bro.
Oh,
When I
yeah,
heard
yeah, God bless you on that one. That's rough. Never with my grandparents, thank goodness. Keep them sacred. Keep them sweet.
dude, it was just like one of the times where I was like, this is happening right now.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, you know what? That just lets me know. Go to sleep.
In that same, have you ever been caught by your kid? It sucks. It sucks.
Almost.
I feel
Oh
like
my
that's
God.
some real trauma right there.
Oh.
You don't want that for your kid.
Dude,
And
Sydney's
you
gonna
don't
be
want that
pissed.
for yourself or your partner either.
Bro. She's gonna be pissed, but you know what? I love you. So listen, bro. I'm not joking, bro. 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks
Recent.
ago. So, new baby in and, everything, we're getting smooth sailing past the 6 weeks, whatever
Yeah,
the
they
case.
sleep for a bit.
Yeah. So, we wake up early and my oldest daughter, Aubrey, she's been in like this weird toggle of like either she wakes up at like 6:45 or she'll sleep until about like 8:40. It's somewhere between there. She'll just get up. So she doesn't sleep with us at all. Sleeps in her room.
Smart move.
So, we do the do, and we're still laid under the bed, and I'm still in action under the cover
Okay.
on our side like that, and I'm like fixating myself trying to get comfortable, and I move my leg so that way I can have like I guess like a little bit of willpower or whatever.
Poor sweet baby.
Bro. Bruh, that door just kicks down. My door doesn't have a latch or nothing to
Okay,
hold
yeah,
it, so it just
alright.
freaking like swung open. So mind you, she's sitting there just, hi guys, good
And at
morning.
least she's little.
Yeah,
The innocence is still flowing very heavy with her, I'm sure.
for
Oh,
sure.
that's
But
good.
it was just one of the things where I'm like, bro, my boxes are around my ankles right now.
Yeah.
My foot is hanging
You're under
off
the
of the
blankets,
bed,
though.
under the
Oh, dude,
blanket.
this is like a very close call. I'll give you that. It's a
Very
close
close
call. But I
call.
bet you got away with it.
Yeah, nah. After we finally got it to go, I was like,
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
And
Yeah,
she was
no,
like,
it's terrible.
she was like, oh my gosh, she walked in. I'm like, she didn't see anything.
I know.
We
Yeah,
almost
especially
got the
Mama
shot.
Bear is not going to like that.
You have a moment like that?
Oh, God.
I'm gonna let you wrap up off of that.
Well, you know what? Not with my little ones, but I also have a 20-year-old stepdaughter, and she would just straight murder me. But yeah, one time it was like afternoon delight situation, which is stupid, and it was my fault. But yeah, we are under the covers, so I had that. But like, I still had my shoes on, and they're like hanging outside of the blankets. And it's pretty obvious what's going on. And oh, dude, she was mad at us. And she was getting older, like probably late elementary school or something
Oh
like that.
God,
Oh, and it still haunts me.
I
It
bet.
still haunts me pretty bad. Sorry, right? But yeah, and I know it haunts Amber too. And dude, you know what? Here's what's sad. Here's a little insight to the male brain. The first I was like, well, I'm not gonna get to do this again for a long time.
For sure.
This is done.
Bro, that was the first thing I thought of too.
Yeah,
I literally was like, well, this ship is fucking sailed.
Take some precautions. Take some smart precautions. First of all, get a latch for your door. Well, you got babies. It's hard to do that too. You gotta spring into action if you got to. If you gotta, I don't know, rescue your kid. You think about that all the time when you got kids.
Literally. Yeah, I don't close my door at all at night. Like
Yeah.
it's only like that moment where she's like, go close the door.
Because you got a baby in the other room.
No, she's in the room with
Oh,
us.
that's nice.
But she's in like the bassinet though.
Sure.
So,
Well, what about your other daughter though? She sleeps in her own room.
oh yeah.
That's smart, dude. We got these bed sharing kids, and it's nice, but also it's gonna be tough to break the habit because it's the year for my son to go sleep in his own room.
No, man. As soon as she got to be, so like when we put her in the crib, she was in our room. But then like when she turned 1, I was like, yeah, no, it's time to go to
Dang.
your. It's time to go to your room. It's time to go. Like we didn't do the whole co-sleeping.
Yeah. Well, they don't like that. Doctors hate co-sleeping, and so we just lie to the doctors. But we were so, and it's not that we're committed to it, but it is a little bit bonding time. You kid, you read them a story, you go to sleep, blah blah blah. But it's also a super heavy burden. And I'm telling you, my son is like, no, I'm not gonna go sleep in there. I'll be lonely. My son is super sweet, and he's cool. So he's like, you don't want to disappoint him. But it's about this is gonna be the year where he's gonna have to start sleeping on his own.
Negative, bro. I cut that out immediately. I was like, listen.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah, I wasn't going for it, man. I was like, listen, you have a room. We have a 3-bedroom house for a reason.
That's true.
And you have your own room with
Yeah.
everything in it. We're moving you.
Yeah, that's one of the things where I'm like, I feel like we messed up on that. But I feel everything else, if that's it, that's not too bad. You know what I mean? But it's going to be a challenge this year. Check in next time, podcasters.
Check it next
Checking
time,
on
man.
Miles' sleeping habits.
Hell yeah, man. So on that aspect, man, I got one last thing that I'm gonna let off real quick before I get off. So us both being dads, you got to have a good Rolodex of dad jokes, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm gonna lay a good one on you, man.
Please do.
What do you call a Christmas wreath made with $100 bills?
I don't know.
Aretha Franklin.
Aretha Franklin. How does that add up? Oh my God. Okay, no. It's Benji Franks. Okay. Dude, that's actually really good. I'm sorry I ruined it.
You're good.
That's good. Where did you look that up or did you hear something?
Fuck yeah, I looked that shit up. Dude, literally.
Put that in the repertoire, dude. That's for your adult friends.
You got that right, man.
Hey, that's good. Holy cow.
Dude,
I'm
literally.
glad you got me on the podcast looking like a fucking moron.
Bro, literally, man. I literally like when Aubrey was born, my first daughter, like I would just get creative to try to get her to calm down. And like one of the things that I did, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna start telling dad jokes." So
Hell
I
yeah.
had like
Oh,
a
I'm into
hundred thing,
that.
and I'd be like this, I'd be like, uh, uh, and when I say it, well, if I got a good one off,
Yeah.
shoot, I'm like, "Oh, that was a winner." That was a
Yeah.
winner.
Oh, dude. I mean, you got me. You had me captivated. I was in the ether for like 2.5 seconds.
There you go.
Oh,
There you
that
go,
isn't a good
man.
one. You know, going to dad jokes, I had a few. I have one.
Okay.
And
And
it's terrible. It's made to be terrible because when I used to wait tables, people would be like, "Oh, you seem like a funny guy. Tell us a joke." And if you've ever, when somebody says, "Tell me a joke," it's the worst time to tell a joke. Your timing is already fucked up. So this is what I used to say. I go, "Okay, well, what do you call a fish with two eyes?"
a fish with two eyes?
Yeah,
I don't know.
a fish.
This guy.
And guess what? They will never ask you to tell a joke again. You're
1,000%.
like, oh God, Charlotte, get the check.
You're like, oh God, here comes this guy with the fish joke.
We're supposed to fake laugh to that guy. Terrible. So yeah, keep that one. That'll shut them up.
I got you, man. I like that. I like that. So, just kind of wrapping up a little bit more, man. I do have a little bit of a closing that I like to go off of. I completely
Okay.
fucking forgot to do it with the last one. I just
Dude.
realized that. But
Get it together, bro.
no, man, I'm trying to listen. So, with you being my passenger for today, you know, sticking on the whole Uber and Lyft aspect, would you rate me a 5-star driver or would you report me?
Oh, you're 5-star, no problem.
Okay,
Easy.
okay,
Absolutely. Even
okay.
if I didn't know you and I was riding with you, you'd be a 5-star. Most people should get a 5-star, not to degrade your 5-star and make it worth less, but
Thank you.
they should have to earn a 4 or a 3 or a 2 or a 1. But oh, dude, I'm sure we'd probably be like, let's go to McNelly's Wednesday night, burger night, dude.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. So, yeah, thank you so much for coming on the
No
podcast
problem. It was
today,
fun.
man, dude.
Super fun.
Man, so I'm going to go ahead and sign this one off. Of course, you know, this is Ricky Montoya, a.k.a. the foolest of all bears.
God, that you have an air horn going
Dude, I
on.
just started doing this shit.
It's needed.
Yeah, man. So, of course, if you're not already following me, that is at itymd.podcast. That's on Instagram, I guess TikTok, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, and everywhere else that you can enjoy podcasts at. So thank you so much to everybody who tunes in.
Going too fast, 150 on a dash, bitch keep up, please don't crash, that's 5-0 on your ass, don't get stuck, my shit blasting up, window tinted, can't get caught, my bitch bad, sport more leave you on your ass, taking up.